Here we go. All right, thank you so much for volunteering for Multiplication Day. My name is Ian Johnson. I'm here, I'm gonna be walking through some of the items and some of the bigger things that we need to know in order to be successful. So first things first, the agenda. We have a arrival time at 8:30. Please make sure you're here on time at 8:30, just to make sure that you're comfortable, you have everything that you need. You take a look at your station, you make sure you have all your materials, but our actual start time will probably start closer to 8:50. So with the actual kids doing the rotations, that's probably when we'll begin. We'll have 3 stations in the morning. Each one of those is going to be for about 15 minutes each, with a few minutes for transition time. And then recess for them, which is a good time for bathroom breaks, will be at 9:50. After they come back, this is our big chunk where we do 5 full stations. This will take all the way till 11:30, and that should be about 15 minutes each again, with 2-minute rotations. Lunch is when we'll have lunch along with the scholars. They'll go off to the cafeteria and food will be ordered for you if you're volunteering. And we'll have our lunch at 11:30. So from about 11:30 to 12:10, lunch will be provided. As a big, huge thank you for volunteering. After we come back from lunch, there'll be 2 more quick stations, and then basically like a cleanup time. We'll have time to kind of tidy up the stations, make sure that the materials go back to the right classrooms, and then scholars will return to class to do a quick debrief before they finish out the rest of their regular day. So the scholars will have recess, and then we'll have our regularly scheduled time in the afternoon. Basically, our stop time will be 1:05, and after that, if you would like to go, you certainly can. If you want to stick around for the day, you can do that too. For the station descriptions, so do you have any questions about the agenda?
No,
okay.
I'm good.
Okay, cool. For the station descriptions, there's going to be 10 different stations, and I will send a copy out for this. I'll give it to Mr. DeSantis, and Mr. DeSantis can forward it to anybody who needs it. But here's a general description of what we're going to be doing at each station. Station 1 is going to be hula hoops, where we're going to be representing multiplication problems in giant groups thrown together on the ground. So we're going to have, say for instance, if we're doing a multiplication problem like 4 times 3, we're going to represent it with 4 large groups, 4 hula hoops of 3 bean bags in each group. So 3 bean bags in 4 different groups, 4 groups of 3. And that language is very important. If they swap the factors, their answer is going to be the same, but it will look different. So it is important that we kind of show them over the course of the day that things will look different if you flip-flop your factors. That's totally okay. Your answer will be the same, but it will look different. All right, station 2 and station 3 are multiplication songs. So you'll probably hear over the course of the day kiddos humming like their 3 song, like 3 or whatever song they picked up. Station 4 is going to be creating block arrays, where if you have 4 times 3, we'll make 4 rows, and rows are the horizontal ones, of 3 in each row. And we'll make little arrays. It's kind of like tiles on a kitchen floor. Like they'll look like those square tiles, and you'll use square tiles to have them make their arrays, and then they'll draw it out on their paper. Station 5 is a bar model station, where it's, I'm going to draw it out really quick. I think I can't do that quite well here, but the idea is you create a single bar, and if you're doing 4 groups of 3, you'll split the bar into fourths, into 4 equal groups, and make sure that you can either write the number 3 in each group, or you can put 3 dots in each group. There's a lot of ways to do it. All of those will be totally fine, totally successful, but it's basically like a fraction bar, fraction number line bar. For station 6, which this is going to be yours, they're doing skip counting using a number line, and they're actually going to be making legitimate jumps on the number line and then drawing it out and showing how that looks on a number line by drawing these little hops and jumps. So for instance, 4 times 3 becomes 4 jumps of 3. So they'll jump 3, 6, 9, 12, 3 times or 4 times.
Okay.
And our, yeah, that's going to be your station if you're okay with that.
And like jump, like give me a scenario. Like
Yeah,
what does it look like?
Let me actually show you on a piece of paper when they draw it on number line jumps.
Art, you're going to be outside and we're going to draw a number line on the ground.
Oh, okay.
And they're going to be literally jumping with
Jump,
their.
that's what I, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then this is what their book looks like. And that's how they're going to draw it on Mr. Johnson's page.
okay.
Yeah, so when they actually go to draw it, you'll kind of help them represent it by these little curvy, jumpy arrows where they specifically hit the skip counting number every time. So if they're multiplying 4 times 3, it would be 4 groups of 3. 3's first, 6, 9, 12, and they make sure to jump to each one of those multiples.
Okay.
Does that make sense? And again, you'll have a little
Yep.
cheat sheet. You'll have a handy little guide that will help you kind of understand what to do for the station. So don't feel like you have to memorize this. It's okay. Station 7 is going to be very much the same thing. It's repeated addition, but you're going to be using cubes. So you'll take cubes on the table and kind of move them in. If you're doing 4 times 3, you'll have groups. You have 3 cubes, 3 cubes, 3 cubes, 3 cubes, and you'll add them all together, and then they can draw it out for passport. Station 8, they'll be walking a multiplication table. So basically learning how to use a multiplication table tool, but I'll also have a giant carpet that is a big grid with which they can actually walk it out and like see how to walk a multiplication table before they use their fingers to do it on paper. Making sure they connect their body to their brain. Station 9 is a word problem station where specifically we're promoting a strategy for learning word problems, which is the cube strategy. So this is something that they'll be walking through for this one in particular. And you'll get more information on there if you're doing that. And then finally, station 10 are the multiplication tricks, specifically the 9s trick. And you'll get how to do this as a guide with there as well. But learning that, 9 times 6 is 54 and that sort of thing. Learning how to do that as a station. Art, did you have any quick check-ins about any of the stuff that's going on? Just on mute.
I was on mute. No, I'm getting the picture.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so the big one is this is all of these stations, and we'll kind of I will forward this information as well. We'll kind of send the link over with Mr. DeSantis, and we can send it on to all the parents, and they can kind of see where they're starting. So Mr. Alaman, you're starting in station 6, for instance, at the number line station, and it has the time block that you volunteered for. Thank you for that. And then it'll also, once we're done, it'll have who is going to start with you, like who are the kiddos that you should have, and that'll help you kind of count out where they should be in 2 stations, 3 stations, 4 stations, and so on. And we'll help with that too. But just in case kids are lost, you can kind of help direct traffic. So we'll send this on to all of you. And then finally, the last thing I just wanted to show you is what your kids are going to see. So they're going to have that passport, and they're going to be carrying this passport around with them. It's a very important document that they have to make sure in order to get to you, they have to have it. You got to make sure, hey, where's your passport? Don't forget it. Go back and get it. So they're going to use all of their problems, and they're going to do them right here on the paper. It'll have little reminders right there in the passport of how to think about this. And then it has space for them to actually draw it out. So not just do the answer, but draw out the problem. And for Art, for you, for station 6, they'll actually have little number lines where they can actively make their jumps and they can draw it out on their number line once they've done it, once they've done the real life thing. Once they've actually jumped it, they can draw it.
Okay.
And then the last big thing I need for all my volunteers is just to make sure when they're done, make sure to give them a stamp before they're finished.
Mhm.
And that's it.
Okay.
So yeah,
Thank you very much.
you're very welcome. More information will come out. We'll send out some links with all of the most important documents. And again, like there will be handy dandy little guides. So please don't feel like you have to memorize any of this stuff. It is going to be, there will be little scripts and things to say right there for you. It'll help a lot. So any questions from you, Mr. Art?
No, yeah. I got it.
Okay.
I don't
awesome.
got it, but I'm saying I got the picture.
Yeah. You'll kind of see how things are going once we really get started. And like, again,
Okay.
I invite you to come a little early so you can kind of check out your station, can kind of see like, kind of get a plan and get a feel for how you want to deliver this information.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'll be there early, about 8, just to. What time you guys get there? You guys get there?
I'll be there ridiculously early. I'm usually there no later than 7.
Dang.
Yeah. I'm usually there earlier than that. So that day specifically, since we have a lot going on, I'll make sure to be there early.
Okay. I'll give it my best shot to be there, early. Too.
You don't have to be there that early.
Yeah. No, not that early, but I'll be there, early enough so I can see what you're doing.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah. As long as you're there by 8:30, that is good enough.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you, Art. I appreciate you. And I'll stop recording now too.